guys, so today I thought that I would do something that's pretty embarrassing for myself. And I don't know, you guys might get secondhand embarrassment with some of the things that I'm about to share with you, but I thought it would be fun to look back at all of the people that I have fancied, particularly the ones in high school, because let's face it, the people that you fancy in high school, there's just always something really embarrassing about it. And we can have a bit of a laugh at my incapability of communicating with the male species. Now, these are all people that I fancied that has not worked out, so not counting any boyfriends or anything like that. I'm just gonna get into it because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 people. My first ever proper crush was in primary 7. I continued to like this person into first year for a few months, and nothing really embarrassing ever came of this crush, but the one thing that is just really strange is the fact that a few years later I became best friends with his younger sister, and I didn't fancy him at the time that I was best friends with her, so it was okay. It wasn't weird in that respect, but it's just weird. Like, a few weeks ago she brought it up and I was like, yes, okay, let's just not can we just cut the conversation here? The next person that I fancied, it was during first and second year. This guy was in my class. My old best friend told him that I fancied him, and I can still remember this so clearly. It's horrible. We had PE last period, and so we were coming out of the PE block and just going straight onto our buses, and we were leaving the block at the same time as he was. And so my best friend at the time turns around and goes, "Elijah likes you," or something along those lines. And instead of just, you know, being cool and just trying to shrug it off and be like, what you talk about? No, I don't. Like, ew, no. Just trying to like pretend that I had no idea what she was talking about, I decide to run onto my bus. Like, I might as well have just turned around and went to his face, yeah, I do. And he never ever spoke to me after that. And thinking about it now, he didn't really speak to me beforehand anyway, but I think it was just the fact that I knew that he knew that I fancied him, and so I'd put the two together and be like, that's the reason he's not talking to me. My little 12-year-old heart was shattered. I think by the end of second year, I had worked out that he only ever spoke to me like a handful of times in the whole 2 years we were in the same class. The next person I fancied in second year, that was only for a few months, and I think it was purely because he actually spoke to me, and so I liked that he was actually, you know, friendly towards me, and so I was naturally like, I like you. Now we're going on to third and fourth year, and the next person I'm going to leave to the side because this was the guy that I liked for like 3 years, I think. Most of my high school years I liked him, so I'm just gonna leave him to the side. Now moving on to the next person, who, this is the first really embarrassing thing that I really just don't want to share with anyone. This guy was in one of my classes in third year, I believe. Yes, I think. Or both, no, third and fourth year. We were in the same class both years, I think. I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, sometime during third and fourth year. And I gave him a nickname. Because, you know, I think we all go through that little phase of having code names for the people we fancy so that, you know, we could talk about them with our friends and then people surrounding us would know who we're talking about. And he found out about the nickname, and then just, again, like with the guy that I fancied in first and second year, like I just kind of put 2 and 2 together and was like, he's not talking to me because of this nickname. Although, to be fair, I think if someone gave me a nickname similar to this, I'd be like, okay, that's a little bit weird. But this nickname was Mr. Hot. Yes, Mr. Hot. And my friend told her friend, who either spoke to him or her sister spoke to his sister or something like that. It was something like through people that he found out And I was like, dead. Rest in peace, Elijah. And then the next person, nothing embarrassing. Oh, I forgot someone. 11 people I fancied, oh Jesus. Okay, so then the next person was in one of my classes. Nothing embarrassing ever really happened with him. I think that he really did stop talking to me because he found out that I liked him. Why is it that most people that I fancied in high school always found out that I fancied them? Like, I don't know what it was. I think I just was telling the wrong people. We sat next to each other at one point and he kind of, we didn't have like deep discussions and deep conversations, but we did kind of speak to each other, and he kind of passed comments, just like, you know, just like acquaintances, if you will. And then he found out and never actually spoke to me again. And now we move on to 5th and 6th year. There's 2 people and they were both in the year above. So when we go into 5th year, we're then mixed in with 6 years. And so like 5th and 6th years have classes together. And there were 2 people that I fancied. One, I just primarily found really attractive, and I had done since I think 3rd year. Then he cut his hair and I went off of him, but then I started to fancy him again and I was like, nah, he's still attractive. You know, when you fancy someone and they cut their hair and at first you're like, oh my god, why did you do that? And he was in one of my classes. I'm just gonna tell you the class. It was Italian, right? And I did Italian for a year and he was in the class and I was just basically distracted by his attractiveness, and I literally can only remember how to ask, how old are you? And hello. I can say hello in Italian. I blame him for not remembering any of it. And then we have the other person who was in the year above me. This is the second really embarrassing thing. This is something that my sister knows about and she uses it to like try and blackmail me. Well, now you can't blackmail me with it because the world is gonna know. Obviously, I was in 5th year, he was in 6th year, and it was coming towards the end of the year and he was going to be leaving. And I wanted to let him know, but I was too afraid to like just say it face to face. So I came up with this amazing idea. It really wasn't amazing. I came up with this idea that I was going to write him a letter. I was going to write him a letter confessing my feelings for him. I never went through with it, thank God. Oh my god, I was going to give him like some sort of love letter. Oh Jesus. I'm so glad I didn't do it, and now my sister can never blackmail me with it because the world knows that I was going to do it now. Now on to 6th year. Someone who was in the year below me. The one thing that I always remember about fancying this guy is that, because he found, did he find out that, no, he didn't find out that I fancied him, but I sent him messages on Tumblr or something, okay, I know. And so did my friend, like anonymous messages. And did he find out that it was me? He found out that it was me sending the messages. Okay, but they weren't creepy messages. Like I was just genuinely trying to make conversation, but I didn't want him to know it was me. And then my English teacher, she liked to every so often change our seats around. And I was just like to myself, okay, there's loads of people in this class, and there's only one person that I do not want to sit next to, and that was this guy, right? And who does she fucking sit me next to? Yes, him. And I was like, you fucking out to get me. The last person that I fancied in high school, well, not the last person I fancied, but like the person that I want to talk about separately, because I fancied him for like 3 years. This was the only person to this day that I've ever actually actively taken the initiative to tell that I liked them. I don't know, I feel like in high school there's that one person, out of all the people that you fancy, there's always that one person that you always kind of go back to. He was younger than me. I honestly have things for younger guys. It's terrible. We spoke a lot on MSN. Who remembers MSN? I miss MSN. There was a period of time where we stopped talking and I kind of forgot about him. Well, I didn't forget about him. There was always something there, but I just didn't like him as much as I had. And then we started talking again and getting to know each other again. And then I was just like, that's the point that in 6th year I was getting a bit like distraught that I would be leaving school and I would probably never see him again. It was then that I decided I wanted to tell him. I decided to text him, but I was so scared that it would just ruin our friendship. I was scared that he would just suddenly stop talking to me and stuff, but he never did. We still, you know, continued to kind of speak, and just naturally as I left school we just kind of stopped talking to each other. Anyway, and then I left school. There's only been a handful of people since I left school that I fancied. The first I actually potentially had a chance with. For ages, we would like each other's pictures on Instagram, you know, like the selfies, and that's like the subtle like flirting or something. Then he anonymously messaged me. We started talking and we met in person. We went to We Are the In Crowd meet and greet. That I just feel as if, I mean, I could be wrong, but I personally feel as if I didn't let my personality shine through as much. I feel like he didn't. When he met me, I turned out to be different to what he thought. Not that I was pretending to be someone that I wasn't online. It's just that online, naturally I have more confidence, and when I'm first meeting people in real life, it doesn't matter if I've been talking to them for years, like online, I will still naturally be a bit quiet. He eventually kind of just stopped talking to me, and he stopped liking my Instagram pictures at one point, and I was like, no, at one point he still never likes them anymore, but I was like, okay. Then the last person was someone that was in my college class, and we had so much in common. I swear to God, we are basically the same person. I remember him being like, we should talk more, and I was like, yeah. And me being my awkward self, I was just too scared, because I don't know, I fancied him, and then he like dropped out the course and I never spoke to him again, really. And I just kind of went off him naturally. Like, if you don't see someone and you don't speak to them, you just kind of forget, well, not forget about them, but you just kind of go off them. Then encountered him like a year later. I don't fancy him anymore. No, I've got to know him. I'm just like, nah, you're a cool guy, but I don't really fancy you. That is it. That is my history of people that I fancied. Hope you enjoyed the embarrassment. And sometimes when you fancy someone, it does work out. And it has worked out a few times. But I still make everything awkward even when it does work out. Like, honestly, I'm awkward as fuck. Feel free to share any embarrassing stories involving the people that you have fancied down below. And I'm just off to die in embarrassment now. I will see you next week. I hate myself.